Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Full Quota Podcast. My name is Mpho and I'm joined by Tim Lace here with me. I do apologize, I sound a little bit nasally, but yeah, I've got a bit of a bug coming along, similar to the bug that happened to us yesterday. And surprise, surprise, today's show is going to be about that game. But before we do anything, we're South Africa's #1 cricket podcast. My name on X. You can follow us at SA Cricket Pod on X. Subscribe to the South African Cricket Podcast YouTube channel and also the South African Cricket Podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can buy some coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SA Cricket Pod. Tim, I've slept on it. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Honestly, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine.
Are you
And
sure?
no, I don't think it's going to be one of those situations where in 24 hours I'm suddenly going to come down in sadness and enraged. I'm really not. Somebody pointed it out on Twitter yesterday, and I answered them because he was feeling the same way. He was going, "Am I numb? Am I just used to South Africa losing in ICC whiteboard tournaments? Was it a terrible performance? What is it? Why was he feeling just flat?" I'm the same. I'm not particularly bothered in terms of the loss. I didn't want to lose.
Yeah.
But it's a combination of things. One, we were beaten by the better team on the day.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it was a special innings which took the game away from us. And three, as well as a lot of listeners will know, my apathy towards this format. All of those things make it for me as okay, move on.
It still hurts, Tim.
It
still
doesn't for me. It really
It
doesn't.
still hurts. But anyway, let's go into the game recap and I'll explain to you why it hurts. Okay, so South Africa lost the toss. New Zealand decided to bat to put South Africa in first, knowing that chasing on this wicket was going to be easier. South Africa didn't start off well. Aiden Markram 18 of 20, Quinton 10 of 8, Ricks a duck. Dewald Brevis 34 of 27. You had David Miller out for 6. Tristan Stubbs 29 of 24. They kind of held us together, Stubbs and Janssen, towards the end. Stubbs' wicket was unfortunate towards the back end. Marco Janssen 55 of 30. Really loved that. But then nothing between Bosch, Kagiso, and Keshav Maharaj, who all gave us 3 runs. South Africa ended up on 169, and I thought, just get to 170. We can figure out the rest because this is the best bowling attack in the world. Oh, was I wrong? But anyway, New Zealand's figures, Matt Henry, 2 for 34. Cole McConkey, the off-spinner, 1 over, 2 for 9. And then it was Lockie Ferguson, 1 for 29. Jimmy Neesham was the only one the South Africans enjoyed, 1 for 42. Satna, no wickets for 25 runs. And Rachin Ravindra, no wickets for 29. And then from a bowling perspective, it just didn't look great. We saw the Finn Allen 100 of 33 balls. Tim Seifert scored 58 of his 33 balls. And Rachin Ravindra, 13 of 11. The only wicket to fall was Tim Seifert. And yeah, that's how it ended up. Kagiso took 1 for 28. Marco Janssen 0 for 53. Ngidi 0 for 22 in 2 overs. Bosch 0 for 35 in 2 overs. And Maharaj 0 for 33 in his 3 overs. New Zealand winning by 9 wickets with 43 balls remaining. It was a massacre. It was a walloping. Coach Shuki mentioned that it was a walloping. Everyone kept on talking, asking Aiden, is your team picking too early? I felt that question was unfair because you have a situation where You are winning games. You are beating what's in front of you. Peaking too early, like what do they want? They want us to lose somewhere along the way. That's not going to happen, and that can't happen in the nature of where this game is. And on Monday we spoke about the vagaries of T20, that someone can take the game away from you, and that Cole McConkey over was a masterstroke. I thought I would have. I just sat there going, okay, fine. We lost the toss. We can try figure it out. Get to 190, we can win, and we obviously fell like 20 short of that. And I'm hurt more than anything else because I felt and I believed in the project that Shukri was building. I still believe it across all three formats. And this was a sign that this man has the pulse of what South African cricket is, and that these players respond positively to him, which is great because, you know, previous World Cup campaigns outside of the last one under Rob Walter, you kind of felt a situation where this team just wasn't playing great cricket. It's like watching England play in this tournament, right? It's stop start. You're winning some games, you're losing some games. You just know this team's not balanced. And coming into the semi-final, I was even more confident than 2015, that 50 over World Cup, when we went into that semi-final. And we know what happened there. But in the back of my mind, I kind of felt like this team were able to stop big performances from happening. But it's a team sport, and they did well. And this is essentially what this team has done, right? You put yourself in a hole at the top. We kind of get ourselves out to a respectable total that's defendable. 170 wasn't defendable on that pitch. We know that. But with the bowling attack that you have the ability to do it. You just need to take your chances. And yesterday was a lesson in not taking our chances. And we paid the price, the ultimate price. I'm not going to sit here and bemoan players. They just had a bad day. And the sad thing about tournament sport is the moment you have a bad day, there's no coming back from it. New Zealand were excellent. They were unbelievable. The toss, yes, did help them a lot. And even Tim, when they won the toss, I just had to go, oh, this is going to be hard. But then I was like, actually, against India, we let them, we chased against India and we were fine. Or we let India chase, and we were fine. And I thought maybe this team could have them 20 for 3 or something like that, just break through that top order, which we thought was kind of fallible. And then they came through. They came through at the right time. Finn Allen was just unbelievable. He got a lifeline because Quinny, again, being a senior player, wanting to not put pressure on a youngster in Brevis, he's got the gloves, just underran the ball, didn't get there. And I know there was that non-catch there by Mitchell there on the boundary early in the game. I'm not going to fight everything. This game wasn't tight. It wasn't close. We just got bulldozed by a team that, like everyone else, and I hate this thing, peaked early, peaked at the right time. But again, are they the best team in the world? I don't think so. Does one game make it? Yeah, it does. Because it's the semi-final. They're now in the final. We're going home. But there's nothing I can say outside of the fact that I'm immensely proud of what the boys did. The fact that you made me believe, the fact that you made me go back to 2015 and be like, yeah, we were the best team in the world then. We didn't get there. You know, I'm really proud of the guys and the effort that they put out there. And I see why you don't like T20, is that one man can decide the entire thing, right? You just need one person to go supernova and you're done. There's nothing you can do about it, right? And you can say that's sport. And unfortunately for us, we're sitting on the other side, looking there, going, fair play, New Zealand, well done. And I even said on Monday that I have an apprehension to playing a team a second time, because they're going to come with something. And New Zealand played like a team with house money. bowling Cole McConkey up front, right, as an off spinner against our left-handers. That was a masterstroke. Why? You're taking the ball away from them. We had the only thing about our bowling innings was Keshav should have bowled that first over. They have two right-handers. We've been complaining that we don't have a leg spinner, right? But there's two right-handers and you got a left-arm spinner. Bowling. Put it on Kesh. But I do get that maybe there's a point in the huddle where Marco goes, let me have a crack at them. Kagiso also went, I also want to crack at them. So in a normal situation, I'd have wanted my best bowlers to go at it. But I think Aiden forgot that his best bowler was Keshav. I'd have thrown Kesh the ball. I'd have thrown Lungi the ball. And I would have said, I'm leading with my best bowlers in this tournament. The rest will follow. Because if Lungi and Keshav can't get a wicket, then we're done. And Kagiso had a chance. It was put down. But again, I'm not mad. This is me being nitpicky. I'd have loved Keshav to bowl that first over. Just to see. But again, we sit here, another semi-final. It was just horrible, Tim. Look, I'm glad that they made me believe, but wow, that was hard to watch.
Let me put it into comparison, shall we say. 2024, the game finishes. I was in a proper sporting depression because I knew we should have won that game against India.
Yeah.
I knew that. I knew that game was on a plate, and we didn't take it.
Mm-hmm.
That hit me massively hard, even in a format that I have a deep apathy with. This game ends. I switch over to the news to watch what's happening in the news. Okay, life goes on. That's my personal comparison. There was no at all. There was no. We were, as you've said, and as Shukri said in the post match, we were smacked. Absolutely smacked. There was no point in this game where we were, we're in it. No point. It just was not an option. I do think, and congratulations to New Zealand, they deserved to win it on the game. On the day, they were the better team. Finn Allen was a magnificent innings. How he managed to time virtually every ball he hit was quite incredible.
Yeah.
Yes, you could nitpick. I could nitpick a lot of things. But I just think on the day they were better. But if you want to do the nitpicking, New Zealand, 9 overs of spin, 4 for 63 at 7 and over.
Yeah.
This pitch was a pitch where you could have bowled spin. I agree entirely. I would have certainly bowled Maharaj, but I also would have bowled. I don't care whether the right-handers or left-handers. I definitely would have bowled Aiden in the power play. It might have gone for 20, but I definitely would have gone for somebody who took the pace off. Because every time we put the pace on, the ball went.
Yeah.
Every time we went to 140 Ks, boom, the ball went out the ground. So
yeah,
that's where I think Aiden definitely missed the trick. And also, I think in the batting, when we were losing those wickets, not the first two that happens, it happens. When we were losing these middle over wickets, we needed to almost go back to the Rob Walter way. We needed to go, boys. This is the World Cup semi. We need to actually build here. Even if it's for 2 overs. We get 8 runs of 2 overs. We just build. We know what this pitch is required. We know that we can't just hit through the line on this particular pitch, particularly in that first innings. We know it's a bit of a struggle. There was an opportunity to do that. Again, nitpicking, not going to criticize. His primary job is to bowl. That is his primary job. Rabada comes in at the end. Tap it for a single.
Yeah. What was going on in that final over?
Give big boy the bat. Give the big boy the strike. Just tap it
Yeah.
into the leg side for a single. But I am nitpicking, so I'm not going to be piling on the team. But those definitely were things that happened, and I thought we could have done things slightly differently.
Yeah, we could have done things very differently. The only question I have, Tim, was it a choke? A lot of people are going to go back to South Africa choking. Um, the only reason why you can call it a choke is because we were unbeaten by the time we got to the semi-final. And the assumption that teams at this level of the game of international cricket and T20 will continue to be bulldozing teams, similar to this Indian side that went 24, however many games unbeaten, is a fallacy, right? It's India and then it's everyone else. And on their day, anybody else can beat anyone. And surprisingly, on Sunday, if New Zealand beat India, I wouldn't be surprised. And the Indian fans can come at me left ways to Sunday. However, that was a performance of a team that wasn't in the game. South Africa had the worst of the conditions. They eked out a wobbly 169. I remember when Zimbabwe was 169 for 2, everyone was like, I'd rather be 190 all out. Well, we didn't even get to 190 all out. So, yeah, they eked out a paltry score on a pitch where you should be scoring 220. And New Zealand just blitzkrieged them with the ball. The same 11 that you called favorites. So, yes, we don't have another spinner in Linda. He's on the bench. We went with a seam-heavy attack, and they went at us. And that's not choking. Choking is if we had a sniff of a win. There was no way in that. The only chance we had of winning that game was before that coin toss went up. Before that coin went up. That was the only chance we had of winning that game. Once that thing was flicked up, it was over. It was over. And unfortunately, India needs to sort this thing out because there's no way you're going to be playing semifinals under lights and the team chasing is the one that wins the game. 2 out of the last 14 times since 2014. It's ridiculous. But that's an ICC and India problem. And it's really lopsided. I would have loved a fairer contest. For the neutrals, I'd have loved a fairer contest, a much more tighter contest. But we never got that. We just got a one-sided affair for 40 overs. Or, what was it? 43, 30, 32 and a half overs. 32.5 overs. That's what we got. We got New Zealand showing us, finally, in this tournament, that they actually do have the guns to do this. They were playing with water pistols the entire tournament. But again, the other thing that I'm going to nitpick is this tournament structure. Had you allowed competition to happen and not be kicking Bangladesh out, not be fighting Pakistan, you would have had a situation where fairness would have prevailed. The ICC put us in this position. We got into a group where we had all group winners on one side and all second runners up on the other side. And yes, you can say it's the luck of the draw. It is the luck of the draw. New Zealand got the better of the situations. And I think because they left India, they got to discover who they really were as a batting side, right? Those 170s in Sri Lanka were very important because they kind of figured out who they were in tough conditions. And then I was worried that them coming into India, they'd be better because they're playing on better wickets and they'd enjoy it, and clearly they did. And so now you sit with a situation where you've got New Zealand in the final. I don't know if the ICC likes having New Zealand in the final, but that's what it is. But Tim, for me, it wasn't a choke. I think the choke was the ICC because I think they wanted South Africa in that final because I think that was the second highest, most watched game in the tournament, hoping that India would be there. But true to form, the ICC choked on this one because had they not played around with the Super 8s and let the Super 8s rest where they fall, where they may, and if whoever was playing Pakistan just had to go to Sri Lanka to go play there, we would have been fine. But again, we're stuck here, and now they're going to complain that the game's not growing. Well, that's what it is. But I'm joking. New Zealand were phenomenal. I hate T20 for that. T20 does not give you the opportunity to have an answer. 50 overs, the time element gives you time to come back. You're not out if someone scores 100 off 33, right? Yes, you're staring down the barrel, but you're not out. Here, there's nothing you can do. And it was the one time where we actually got pasted by a team outside of Afghanistan, but we brought that Afghanistan game back. We should have lost that Afghanistan game, but we didn't. And here we are. Favorites out of the tournament, but it was definitely not a choke.
No, it was there for a choke. I note with interest the opposition of the world to South Africa are saying it's a choke, and the general consensus around South Africa on social media is that it wasn't. At least on my timeline, anyway. No, it wasn't a choke. Let's. Shukri said it. We've said it. We were smacked. You've got to choke in a situation where you win the game and you let it slip. We didn't let it slip at all. There's no. It's silly. It's really silly. It's only because we have choked before that suddenly every time we lose in a ICC tournament, it's a choke, which is just silly. The other thing I just touch on very briefly, New Zealand deserved to win it on the day. I would make that very, very clear. Before I get piled on. But Dinesh Karthik on the preview for the semi-final, he said, and you're right, this is wrong. He said, the team that bowls first, 70% chance of winning.
Yes,
70-30. That's ridiculous. That is just ridiculous for a knockout ICC fixture. It's just ridiculous.
And the groundsman kept on telling people that no, the dew was minimal to the previous days. No, it's problematic, and it's also because the faster we were bowling, the easier it was to hit. Like I just sat there going, guys, like literally, we lost the toss, and I didn't watch the toss. I just saw it on. I was like, you know what, today maybe is the day God tells us to go home, and it was. Tim, let's just do some player ratings and some shout outs. I'm just going to go through the squad and then just, shout out. I'm going to start with the captain, Aiden Markham. Aiden, if this tournament makes you realize what your potential is, well done. Because I hope that you don't take the disappointment out of this tournament. You take the fact that you were the best batter in the world throughout this tournament. And it mustn't be a T20 thing. You have the ability to be the greatest batter this country's ever seen. I hope you can take this and go and be better. That was the only thing I'm going to take away from it is that we don't have a trophy in our hands. So I'm giving you a 9 out of 10, but you were superb in this tournament. Tim?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't disagree. I said what I said last week. He needed to win it. Unfortunately, he hasn't gone to win it. But he was, as you say, really, really superb. And we played as a team, which a lot of teams in this World Cup are not playing as a team. And that's credit to him. And that's credit to him.
Yeah. Get to the final, you're player of the tournament. But unfortunately, you're not there. So 9 out of 10. Quinton de Kock, I'll give you a 7.5. But Quinny, can you stay until you're 40? Please. Please, please, please. You bring something different to this team. This team plays lighter with you in it. You unlock Aiden. You also unlock Rickleton. It's been a joy to watch you bat. All I'm asking is give me 4 more years. And I know some people ask for Trump to get 4 more years. Quinny, 4 more years, please. 4 more years. I want to see you next year at the World Cup in 50 over cricket, and I want to see you in T20 cricket. I know your daughter needs a father. I know you want to go fishing, but Quinny, for love of country alone, and what happened yesterday. Please, we can win this thing. We can win one of the next 2 World Cups. Just please, just hang with us here.
Yeah, no, I again can't disagree. It is quite hard to describe what he brings to this team. But it's almost as if the rest of the batters subconsciously go, it's all right. We're going to be okay. We are going to be okay. Which is massive, absolutely massive, which wasn't the case when he wasn't there the last few months, when he wasn't there. It definitely was not the case. This team was scrambling for that kind of calmness within the batting lineup. So please stay as long as you can.
And to the Luandre fans, wait your turn, boys. Wait your turn, boys. It's Quinny's just And I'm not mad at that Finn Allen thing, that drop. I'm not mad. I really am not mad. I understood the moment. A senior player, you had to do it. You just didn't get there. I am not mad at all.
Yeah.
Ricks. Oh, Ricks. I've said many times that you played yourself out of this tournament, but that was an 8 out of 10 performance. You shut us up. You were the Ricks we wanted. I just hope that when you leave India, you don't go back to the old Ricks. We need to move on. We need to step up from this, right? You also have the ability to, just be an X Factor player. And I'm so impressed with what you've done, taken the dropping during the SA20 and came to India and you kind of showed up and showed out. I just hope you keep some of that magic dust for Australia at the end of the year and for England, but 8 out of 10. I apologize, Ricks. I don't know my game, but yeah, look, you can even admit last year you weren't great.
Yeah, like 228 runs, an average of 32, but most importantly, a strike rate of 170. I did not think that was going to be his numbers in this World Cup. I thought they would potentially be good once he came into the squad, but my word, he said, "This is where I should be in. This is what I am capable of." Against quality teams, we played the better teams on our side of the tournament. Take my hat off to you, Rex. Really, really good. As you rightly say, the mental toughness to come through, dropped, reselected, given the responsibility at the top, that takes some doing. Yeah.
Devil Brevis, you are hot and cold, but the moments where you are hot, and it wasn't the Brevis of old, which was a lightning show, and you were just bombing everything. You also gave us the nuances of a pedestrian cricketer who just needed to kick his team out of the gutter. I am really impressed. I think the Afghanistan game, you pulled us together. The India game, you were there, you kept us going. In this game, you kept us going. And for me, I just want more. I want more of this, and I want more of the ability for them to look at you and say, how are we going to get this guy out? The no-look 6 is a little bit weird because I'd like to see where it goes. But look, dude, if you hit the ball that hard, what can I say? And I can see Marco is also copying you. So that's also kind of speaks to your leadership. You may not talk that much in the team, and your bat also has your little insignia on it. But yeah, 8 out of 10 performance, my man. I was really impressed with you. You were the glue that kept that batting lineup together. And in times of crisis, I was not worried. Even yesterday, when we lost Aiden's wicket, when we lost Rickleton's wicket, I was like, no, Bravy's coming in. We're okay. This middle order actually is humming. So yeah, no, thank you very much for that, Brevis. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. This is the Brevis that we want to see. The mature Brevis. The Brevis that sizes up the moment of when to go. This is This is what we want. We don't want the Brevis of 1 in 10. That's not the Brevis we want. We want the Brevis that is far more consistent. Maybe slightly down on strike rate, but he had a very, very, very good World Cup. Very impressed. More of it, please, Purpose. More of it. Again, I'd give it 8. I'd agree. It's a solid World Cup performance.
David Miller time. No one will forget that super over where you just blitzkrieg 3 6s against Afghanistan to make sure that this game was done. No one will forget Miller time against India. No one will, it was against India. You were the leadership glue that this team needed, and you were as your normal self, right? Obviously, I know you would have wanted more, but with the strength of this batting lineup, you always come in at the end to try and help the team out. And I think it was a solid 7.5 out of 10. You were obviously, you probably would have wanted more runs, especially against New Zealand. But thank you for carrying Stubbs and Brevis through the toughest moments. Normally, this team crumbles at 20 for 3. It doesn't. And yeah, David, all I'm asking, just like Quinny, well, not 4 more years, because I think Quinny's younger, but 2 more years. I know you'd love to retire after the World Cup in South Africa at home, but I think it's even better to retire in Australia with a trophy in your pocket. So can you take us to 2028, David? Let's run it back one more time. Let's go and beat the Aussies where it hurts and go and take India down in Australia, please.
Excuse me. Yeah. I again can't disagree. The reason why he didn't have as impactful performance in previous World Cups is because of the middle order. It's because of the middle order came to the party, took responsibility, knew it was their moment in particular games throughout the World Cup, and I think that's better for Miller. The less responsibility that he has, I think, particularly where he is in his career now, those are the performances that we did see are going to happen more regularly. He has less on his shoulder, that when he does come in, he has the freedom to play his way and not have to keep constantly building an innings. So it's a credit to the middle order, but it's also a credit to Miller to realize that when he comes in, it's going Miller time. And he did.
Yeah.
He did it this World Cup. And as with the other guys we mentioned, when we needed him to take that responsibility, he did. He absolutely did take that responsibility. It will be interesting to see going forward what he's thinking, because it has to come to an end at some point. I don't want it to end. Just put it out there. I don't want it to end, but I'm sure it will be something he will discuss. Hopefully he hangs on for another World Cup at least. That would be nice, because he's clearly still got it.
No, he does. He clearly still has it. Yeah. Okay. Next man is Tristan Stubbs. Stubbs scored 135 runs in 6 innings, not out of 44. But the one thing I'll remember Stubbs for this tournament was going out for a duck against Afghanistan and then having the guts to step out into that power play and say it's on me. I love that. I enjoyed that. You were our finisher. Yes, our batting lineup is short, but you played that role like a champ. The growth and leadership that you've had in this tournament and the growth as a cricketer is seen. And I know some people say you must only play limited overs. No. I saw an all-rounded batter in this tournament. And I'm going to give you a 7 out of 10. We would have loved more runs from you, especially some of the crucial moments. But yes, you're coming in late in the game and all of that. But yeah, Tristan, there's a long way to go with you, and I'm happy to go along with the ride. And I think we won't be dropping you or Ricks anytime soon.
it's a credit to it's a credit to the entire batting order that each got a moment to shine. And you're right. Stubbs' moment was Afghanistan, and undoubtedly it was the moment where he said, I am here. You want somebody to clear the boundary? I can be your man. I can be your man. Again, similar to, okay, he's a few years older than Purvis, but again, he did show the maturity. I don't think that maturity in the batting order was shown 2 years ago. I really don't. We were relying on the more experienced players. At the moment, it's a credit to everybody that we're not. Everybody's getting their chance to shine. Yeah, look, I 7 or 8. I'll go 8 because I think that Afghanistan innings was crucial. I really do, for him.
That's super over.
and for us, just for that Afghanistan innings, I'm going to give you an 8.
Okay, cool. Marco Jansen, 11 wickets in the tournament and was giving us some handy performances with the bat. Oh, he scored 73 runs with the bat, an average of 36, but a strike rate of 169. If it wasn't for yesterday's batting performance, Marco, we would have been nowhere to go. So thank you for that. What happened with the ball is always the thing with you. It's always just some days it's just not happening. And sometimes on those days, can you just put in a slow ball? Just try and bamboozle a little bit. But your job is to be the enforcer at the top, to bowl as fast as you can. And 11 wickets in this tournament is just as good, top 10. So well done to that. I'd love a lot more with the bat, and you came through when we needed you. So I'm giving you an 8. Yeah, an 8. Solid 8. It was a really, really solid all-round performance. And yeah, forget what happened with the ball yesterday. You had the toughest of the conditions, and sometimes you just can't beat the conditions.
Yeah, again, can't disagree. And maturity. I think all of these guys are showing maturity. That they're taking their moments. His moment was with the bat yesterday. And I think he bowled much better than he has in previous World Cups.
Yes.
In a much more impactful, much more. He stuck to his plans a lot better. I think in previous World Cups, he could hit for 4 and he think, oh, I've got to do something completely different now because of that 4. At this World Cup, he said, no, I'm going to stick to my plans. I'm going to stick to what I'm supposed to do. He did that. And as you rightly said, in the top 10 of wicket takers, only a couple behind our friend Shadley. So good. Good performance.
The top 3 wicket takers in this tournament are all Southern Africans. Beautiful. Corbin Bosch. Corbin finishes the tournament 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Marco is 9th, by the way. 7 on the wicket taking charts. 11 wickets like Marco Jansen, but a strike rate, but average of 17 and an economy rate of 7.64. Corbin, whenever Aiden threw the ball to you, we felt like something was going to happen, and it did. You found a way to usurp the stranglehold this country has over Anuk Nokia, and you beat him to it, and you got that number 1 spot. Your threat with the bat wasn't seen in this tournament, but my man, for what you've done for us, that's an 8.5. That's an 8.5 out of 10 performance this tournament. There were moments when teams wanted to run away with us, and whenever we knew that we had a wicket taker in you. And long may your career continue. And I can't wait to see you on those Australian pitches in 2 more years. And I can't wait to see you play at home in the World Cup, because I kind of feel like this bowling attack and this from 7 to 11, I think we're sorted for next year. It's just figuring out where Timber fits in next year at for the World Cup at home. But yeah, Mark, there was a Corbin 8.5. Well done.
I'm gonna give 9.
Oh yes, Tim.
Because the only time where it wasn't his day was yesterday. And look, when you come up against somebody like Finn Allen in that moment, that happens. It happens. He did try different things, but it just wasn't happening for him. But outside of yesterday, he was on the money, absolutely on the money, impactful. I don't think anybody found him easy to play throughout the tournament. And he also, he's becoming more and more of a leader without being a leader of the attack, because he is taking the moment when he's bowling in difficult situations, when we are under pressure, with teams putting runs against us. So for me, impactful, giving a solid 9.
Oh, a solid 9. The next bowler is Keshav Maharaj. Not the best of tournaments for Kesh, but he came back as advertised. I'm just trying to find his wickets tally here. There we go. 5 wickets in the tournament. Average of 35, economy rate of 8.52. It wasn't a great Kesh performance, but you know, having Lungi and the guys there kind of helped. That's a 7 out of 10 for me. Just it wasn't great, but I know what you've got, and I've got no doubts in who you are, Kesh. And so it was a tough tournament for you, but everyone else around you came through. So I'm really, really happy, and I know the leadership that you bring to this team. So really, really glad that you were there for the ride. I don't think I would have done it with anybody else.
Again, the only time where I thought he didn't bowl well was yesterday. And again, for the same reason, the Bosch, it's very, very understandable. I actually think I was a bit surprised the economy that you told me for the World Cup, because I actually thought he bowled better. Yes, he didn't. He didn't trouble a lot of batsmen, but he did his job. His job was to restrict and chip in, while the rest of our pace bowlers with the wicket takers. So I thought he had a decent World Cup. Yeah. I'd also go with you. I'd give it 8.
I gave him a 7, but happy for you to give him an 8.
Okay.
I love Kesh. I'm happy to give him an extra one. Kagiso Rabada, 5 wickets. Didn't start the tournament well in the group stages, but in the Super 8, he came into his own. He showed who he was. And yeah, I can't get over that. The game, I think there was a game against the West Indies where he showed them who he was. And you kind of felt like, yeah, that's KG. And it was hot, it was cold. We know he could have bowled better. He should be the leader of the attack. 5 wickets at 43, 8.13 economy rate. It was a tough time for fast bowlers in this tournament, and Kagiso was not one of them. It's not his best format, but I'm not dropping him from anything. There's no way I'm leaving KG on the bench in tournament cricket. And KG, it's another 7. It's you. We know you can do better. You should be in the 8s and the 9s ranges in tournaments, but you weren't there. But luckily, everyone else was. So really, really impressed by you. Just we know that you could have done better. But yeah, that start of the tournament just was not great for you.
Yeah, like he showed his class in coming back at the back end of the tournament. Everybody knows that I think that if there was one format, I'm not saying it should, but if there was one format that I would like him to step aside from, it would be this one. I think that we don't necessarily need him in the T20 format. Don't think it's going to happen. I think he will stay. I think he will carry on for at least a couple of years. Come 2027, but he will be like 32. he then might decide, you know what, I need to curtail my career and focus on other things. But we'll see. We'll see.
At 32,
Yeah,
Tim,
yeah,
man.
I agree. I agree. I
Stock
agree.
stock retired at 37. Like we still got a long way to go with KG. Just turned 30.
I'm not saying he's retiring in 32. I'm saying he might retire from this format. That's what I'm saying. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But
Okay.
you're right. I would have given it a 6, but because of the back end performances, I give him a 7 because he came back well.
The last player, probably our best player in the 11, Lungi Ngidi, 12 wickets in his 7 matches at 15, economy rate of 7.19. Had he played Zimbabwe, had he played against, he didn't play a game. Had he played one of those games, I think he would have probably topped the wicket taking charts. Yesterday was horrible. But outside of yesterday, Lungi was incredible. Probably his best ever tournament performance. He was just getting back at the doubters, at the naysayers, and that Dwayne Bravo ball was a talk of the town, of the whole tournament. That little slow ball that loops at you and dies as it gets to you. And you varied his pace well. He used all his skills. And I say it again, the most skillful bowler we have in South Africa. And he proved it time and time again. And if it wasn't for Lungi, we wouldn't be here. 9.5 out of 10. The only reason why I'm not giving you that other half is because we don't have a trophy. And I thought maybe yesterday you could have pulled us out, but it didn't. It wasn't meant to be. So, yeah. But super, super proud of Lungi and what he's done.
Yeah, his best World Cup with the ball by a country mile. Absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. Really, really quality. You could maybe say Bumrah, but I would say at the very least, the second best fast bowler in the world in this competition, in this year's T20 World Cup. Really, really good. The single reason we were in the semi-final from a bowling perspective was Lungi, as you said. A solid 9.5.
Especially opening the bowling. That's the only thing I was like, Kagiso, not Lungi. But I get it, right? Senior players need to step up in moments like that. And it's one of the things I was proud of this tournament is like when we were in trouble, the senior players put their hands up. They took the responsibility on them. And that's why it's not a choke. A choke is when senior players are hiding. We've watched teams when senior players go into a hole and don't want to come out. But this year they didn't. And so, yeah, truly, truly proud. Look, George, Anrich, Gwena, and Jason. I think Jason didn't play that much, but I really
Jason didn't play a game.
Yeah, so we're not gonna rate Jason, but Anrich, whenever you came on, you as advertised, you were good. I just feel like had we brought you on, we probably would have changed the balance of the side. We can still see that, it's you still have it. But competition this time just beat you out, and that was Corbin Bosch. I do think you've got something in you, and there's a discussion maybe we do play you instead of Kagiso. And so I'm going to give you a solid 7. As a squad player, you were perfect. You were what we wanted. And I'm going to give the others a solid 7 as well. George was, actually, Gwena will get an 8, but George was as advertised. Whenever he came on, he did what he needed to do. Didn't bowl well in that one game in the group stages, but he bowled really, really well against Zimbabwe. Batted well as well. I would have loved more with the bat, but you're not getting a lot of opportunities. So I'd like to see you around. I just would like for you to work on the bowling aspect of it and improve on that, and just give us a chance, especially against right-handers, because having you in the side makes our batting longer and it doesn't weaken the bowling. So for me, that's one thing I'd like to kind of strengthen. And then Gwena, as the first World Cup foray, people didn't want you there, my man. Yeah, they'll never forget what you did to Zimbabwe. bowled really fast, really, really, really nice to see. And there's a lot there to come, but as a first chance with the 2 games you got, I'd give you an 8 out of 10. You did more than what I expected you to do. And yeah, hopefully in New Zealand and Australia, you'll be fighting to do this. And on top of that, we've got an Olympic Games, guys. So David, Quinton, Anrich, Kagiso, hold on, boys. Hold on. There's a bigger thing we're fighting for here. If we can get Olympic gold, boys, we're there. But yeah, Coach Shukri, my last one. It's a 9 out of 10 for me, Coach. And you know why it's a 9 out of 10. I don't know what we could have changed yesterday. I don't know, like, I wish the toss landed on our side. I really do. But thank you for making us believe again. Thank you for making us invest in this game, this T20 format that we don't like. You've changed the culture of this team. You've empowered the players. They play with so much joy, with so much freedom, with so much responsibility. And all I can say is thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the only thing I can ask for is we move. And when we move, we go to the next one. Bring it home, man. Bring that big World Cup trophy home. But thank you very much. Your character monsters are character monsters, and I look forward to finding out who you think is a character monster again. And that's why this New Zealand series is going to be very funny, because I think there's some players you like there that you want in this thing. So I'm very intrigued to see that. But everything you've touched has turned to gold. It's just this one just never turned to gold. It's a little bit of a silver, but either way, I'll take silver with you any day. So thank you very much, Coach Shukri. They may hate you in India, but I love that they hate you there, because you are loved at home. And like, I don't think I've ever backed a coach like I back you. And I think it's testament to who you are. So yeah, Coach, it's hard, but yeah, it's what it is.
The only reason India hates him is because they see him as a threat. And by him, I mean our team. Which is good, which is where it should be. Absolutely. I'd give him an 8 as well.
I gave him a 9.
Very nature, but hey,
I gave him a 9.
Oh, I thought you thought it was an 8.
No, I said 9 out of 10. No. The only reason why it's not a 10 is that we never got to the big dance.
Okay, 9, yes. Maybe I must get some new earphones.
Nah, I just need to get through this flu.
Yeah, look, he's changed this team. Doesn't matter what format it is. He's changed this team. He's given this team a confidence which they didn't have previously. But I'm talking particularly from a white ball perspective. He's given this team a self-belief that they can beat anybody on their day. And that's huge. That's absolutely huge. Coupled with he's picking the right players. And our previous coaches have definitely not picked the right players. They picked players that they liked, that they got on with, that they could have relationships with, and bond with. He's picking players that he believes can get the best out of this team. And we are definitely getting the best out of this team. In terms of this World Cup, we know that this can happen. T20 World Cups can change on a dime. And this one did that. And that's not got anything to do with any mistake that Shukri made. Shukri went and made the right choices. He made the right decisions at the right times. Even in the third game against Zimbabwe, I wasn't worried that he was just going to stick with the 11 and say, this is our 11. This is where we're going to try with the World Cup. I'm glad he gave those fringe guys a chance, a game, because they definitely showed that they are, all 3 of them are ready for that next step. And that is important, widening the pool. Fantastic work from Shukri. I can't speak highly enough.
Yeah, we'll talk about the New Zealand series. We'll talk about the youngsters we're excited for. But for now, and the great thing about T20, there's always one tomorrow. It's the funniest thing ever. So yeah, with India and England are playing anyway. But from a rainy Johannesburg, all I'm going to say is to the team, Proteas, to the team, Proteas, to the team, Proteas. Super proud of you guys. Just wasn't meant to be. But from ourselves here at the Full Court, no, SA Cricket Podcast, like and subscribe on YouTube and all of these things. I hope you have a better Thursday than everyone else, and you hope you remind yourselves that we are World Test champions. So outside of that, it's goodbye, and we'll see you on Monday. Lesale Kakahiso.